Game of the year 2015, The Witcher 3. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got nothing. Now the runners up were Fallout 4, Bloodborne, which I do love Bloodborne. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, I do love Super Mario Maker.
No.
And Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, the last Metal Gear possibly ever made, and Kojima's last Metal Gear game. As much as I do love Bloodborne, The Witcher 3 deserved and should have won. And my reasoning for this, not only was it a phenomenal game, but one thing we preach and complain and ask for in gaming, entertainment as a whole, is something new and fresh. And The Witcher 3 was that. Now, granted, yes, it was the third game in the franchise. Take my word for it. If you've never played it or seen The Witcher 1 or The Witcher 2, The Witcher 2 is backwards compatible on 360 Xbox. You can give it a shot. But The Witcher 3 is night and it is like a kid getting a permit and then going and taking the driver's test and getting that license first score. It is like, oh, The Witcher 3 set a new standard. Open world RPGs and storytelling. So much so that they kind of embarrassed Bethesda because this was the first time a Bethesda game came out, as you can see, Fallout 4, and it did not win Game of the Year. It kind of showed the cracks in Bethesda's long overdue gaming. The Witcher 3 had side quests that actually tied into the story, memorable characters, and you truly felt this world of being a quote-unquote aka monster hunter. I still pick and stay with The Witcher 3.
Oh yeah, Witcher 3. I ain't got nothing else. No, but no, listen, The Witcher 3 was really game changing just because I didn't even know about The Witcher 3 like when it first came out. And I remember I was in the military and one of my friends that we were in the same company, he kept talking about this Witcher game, this Witcher game, this Witcher game. I was like, what are you talking about? And then one night we just had a gaming session and he was like, yo, play it. And I literally played it all night. I didn't go to sleep. Like I remember the setting of Geralt's hair sometimes can stress your PlayStation out. And so sometimes I had to deactivate that setting. So yeah, I just remember being so captivated by the game and how it looked and the story and everything that Witcher 3 had to offer. So out of all these games, I mean, none of these came close. I didn't play Bloodborne when it first came out. Fallout was just Fallout, you know. But honestly, this was the right decision. I'm not gonna say this about every year game of the year winner, but this year it was hands down The Witcher 3. There was not even the second place didn't come close to how much this game changed people perspective on open world and everything it did. Even like the details as they went with the story and all that. Like CD Projekt Red gained a lot of brand recognition and a lot of expectations just because this game was so great. Now after this, you know, they kind of went off the rails a little bit, but you know, that's neither here or there. This was a great game. This was one of the few times where the right game was picked for game of the year, and I ain't got no issues. Like none of these other games came close. It wasn't close. It would never be close. Even look back 10 years later, like I feel like game of the year winners should tell you shouldn't be able to tell gaming history without them. So I don't think 10 years ago, 2015, if you take all these other games out of history, I think gaming would be okay because The Witcher 3 was just that great. Now, that's my opinion. Now, I know that there's going to be some Fallout and some Bloodborne people in the comment. Listen, this is just how I feel. I think Witcher 3 was top tier. But
Couldn't have said it better. Now, real quick, the earlier models of PS4s, they were
oh god.
doable, but there were some games that really pushed it to its limit. And that bad boy, that fan would kick on, and it would sound like a jet about to take off in your living room. So my
Yeah, it was
cousin talked
loud.
about the whole how the hair would kind of stress it. Yeah, that was a real thing. That was a real thing.
Mhm.
I know some people are like, what are they talking about? We talking about the hair. You'd have to been there to experience. But that is very true, and I do remember that.
Yeah,
Good
what a
times.
time to be alive.
To our next year. Now, how I felt about 2015, that's not how I felt about 2016. Game of the year for 2016 was Overwatch, and I felt it was a complete injustice. Now, I may be a bit biased because I am not huge on multiplayer gaming like that. Around this time, I was kind of moving out and more on my co-ops and, of course, my single player adventure. So, would choose Titanfall 2, as the game of the year for 2016. It was so much better and fixed so many problems from Titanfall 1. They added a campaign. The multiplayer was not just half-assed. It legit was fun. And they tried
Yeah.
something new. This is where Call of Duty got that futuristic running on the wall shit. They got it from Titanfall. And the only reason Titanfall did not succeed is because EA, and you can put your tinfoil hats on, EA sabotaged the shit out of that game. Battlefield came out one week, Titanfall the next week, and then Call of Duty the next week after that. Like, where was the time to breathe? And of course, don't get me started on the mechs. I don't know if you guys know. Infamous. Love some mechs. Huge Gundam fan. Zoids fan. Like, just, but that's my choice. Now, I could say Doom. Doom came back in a huge way after a long hiatus, but something new and something going. Now, a lot of you will say, hey, well, Infamous, Overwatch was something new. Yeah, kinda, but it wasn't. This ain't the first hero shooter ever made. It just came out at the right time from the right person. But that's my thoughts. Trace, what you got?
Yeah, listen, I think this was a weak year in gaming. And I'm gonna just be upfront. I'm not an Uncharted fan. I don't like I don't I just listen, it ain't for me, okay? Yeah, so Uncharted didn't stand a chance. I think Overwatch, I just think 2016 was just a weak year, and I'm gonna say that a few times when we go over some of these years. I think it was a weak year. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Titanfall 2. Like Titanfall 2, you could listen. No one can say anything wrong about Titanfall 2, but I think I'm gonna go with Doom. I think I'm gonna go with Doom out of everything. I mean, like I said, Uncharted 4 is not even on the table, so it's really a race between Doom and Titanfall
Okay.
2. Now that I look at it, but I think edges it out, and it's
Okay.
really
I see.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate because EA really did sabotage Titanfall. Like it had
Yeah,
no
they
business coming out in that time of the year, and what they did to get it's nasty work. If you don't know the story, go look it up. We're not gonna go in great detail other than just saying EA should be ashamed of themselves. This was early nasty EA moves, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Doom. Yeah, I think it was the best out of everything. Overwatch shouldn't have won, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like some of these years, I don't know what the committee that picks the winner. I don't know what's their like standards or what is their like. I just don't understand because how does Overwatch come? I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I didn't get this year, but hey, it was a weak year. I guess that's probably why.
I feel you. I feel you. I am an Uncharted fan, but by the time Uncharted 4 rolled around,
It was like,
I was
come
like,
on,
all right,
guy.
come on. All right, come on now.
It's the
Like the
PlayStation
Uncharted
stretching
series
shit.
carried. Yeah, that's what it really felt like more to me. Like Uncharted carried the PS3, into the 4. All right, okay, I understand
And
flagship
they were on
title.
the Vita too. It was on the
And
Vita, yeah.
yeah, there was one on the Vita, but when the time the PS4 came out, I was like, okay, you don't need to rely on this anymore. You're kind of milking it dry. Let's move along. And then I'll admit firsthand, I didn't play Inside, and around this time, I was not big on indie games as I am now, or appreciate them. So
Oh, yeah, I didn't
I don't have
play
yeah, I
Inside
don't have much
either,
to say on
so
that. Yeah. So,
yeah,
but that's
that
interesting.
yeah, sorry for all the Inside fans. I didn't I can't speak on something I didn't play.
Moving on,
Oh god.
and you guys already know, or you should know how I feel. The game of the year 2017 was Breath of the Wild, and you guys already know how I feel about this. This game was a new thing for Zelda. I will not rehash this. I have done a whole rant and I talk about it so much, but I personally felt in the depths of my being this should not have won Game of the Year.
Oh my
Now,
god.
yes, I did play it. Yes, I did enjoy it because I had not played a Zelda game in a while. So, and pardon the pun, it was a breath of fresh air. But
Oh god.
game of the year, no.
Mm-mm.
Everything that people cling to about this fucking game, it is nothing new. Not even the slightest. I'll tell you right now, my game of the year, what I believe should have been, fucking Horizon Zero Dawn. I love that franchise. The story, I'm gonna tell you right now, quick disclaimer. My cousin thinks the story for Horizon is convoluted, stupid, and ridiculous. And that is her opinion. That is her right. I fucking love the story. Apocalyptic
God.
world, a little differently, the robot dinosaurs. I was all down for it. And how it happened, I enjoyed it. And once again, it was a new IP. When everyone was harping on sequels and remakes, which they still are because these other nominations, Persona 5, fifth Persona game, but that was a multiplayer game. So I I definitely want. I'm not for that. Still haven't played to this day. And then of course another Super Mario. How many 3D Super Marios are there? Quite a ton. And here we are, still to this day, new IP, something fresh, and it came up and you didn't support it. I loved Horizon Zero. I am a fan of it. So that's what I feel I picked for my game of the year for 2017. I'm gonna pass to my co-host before I start getting on the rant because
Yeah, listen. I just felt like Breath of the Wild had a lot of simping and they was crediting Nintendo for all this shit, open world RPG elements that's been around forever. Like just 2 years ago, The Witcher 3 was up. You cannot tell me after playing The Witcher 3 that you could ever say Breath of the Wild innovated anything about open world. No, like so I listen, I understand that Nintendo, they need to get a win where they can. They only got like 6 titles that they always rinse and repeat and be sold to. I get it. I understand. But baby, we cannot pretend like Breath of the Wild really changed anything about open world. What it did change was it changed open world when it came to a Zelda game, but not to a open world RPG. No, it was nothing new. I remember people like, "Oh my god, the weapons degrade." I'm like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" Like, so I don't know. Listen, I guess, and you can call me biased in the comments, but by then I really wasn't supporting Nintendo no more. I just felt like they just sell you the same shit over and over again, just up different. And I know this was the first Horizon Zero Dawn, so it really, well, listen, I just felt like while I was playing the story, when I was really getting to the core of why this game was a game, why was this story a story, I was just like, that's stupid. I was like, that's the reason for all this. Listen, if you ain't played Horizon Zero Dawn, I'm not here to spoil anything. I just found it to be stupid. Okay, and yeah, so
bless me.
definitely Breath of the Wild should not have won. I didn't think it was good enough. I didn't think it revolutionized anything. And I think, listen, I feel like you can tell the history of the gaming of 2017 without it. And you'll be okay. Why? Because it didn't revolutionize any fucking thing. So honestly, I know this is probably gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna go with Pub.
Wow.
I'm a
Wow.
listen.
Holy shit. I did not see that coming.
I'm listen, I'm gonna give it a pub. I felt like it was like, it kind of changed some stuff, how people looked at gaming and how people wanted to consume gaming and the type of experience they want to have and all that. I felt like, it did enough. And you really have to give it up for what they did because people defend this game still to this day. Like people are really, it's like they in a cult or something. Like you say anything bad about this game, they coming for your neck. And so I'm gonna give it a pub. Fuck
Okay.
Horizon.
I do remember Pub really taking off. Like it was
Yeah.
everyone was
Yeah.
screaming it. It's like, ooh, Battle Royale. And I won't lie, nearly 10 years later, that Battle Royale genre stuff is still going hard. People are still
Yeah.
trying to make new Battle Royales to get in on that craze. And it's
Yeah.
like, just let it
Yeah,
go.
so it was the real start of something. That's why I feel like in 2017 you can't tell the story without Pub, and for that I'm gonna give it the nod that it should have won Game of the Year.
Not Super Mario Odyssey. It's just another Super
Fuck
Mario
no.
game.
Listen, think none of these Nintendo games should have ever won. Honestly, if I'm keeping in the bean, like fuck Nintendo. They don't do nothing different than all right, listen, let me reel it back in.
And that's it for this video of Are You Not Entertained podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll never miss our next hot take. Until next time, are you not entertained?